guys, this is Miss Mo. We are still on 11.3. We went through the vocabulary and 3 problems, but now we're about to finish the other 3, and then we have the rest of the homeworks that are super small and awesomely lame. Okay, so let's go to D. D says, are U and V parallel lines? Why or why not? Well, let's check the answer choices to see which ones are wrong. It says, no, they're not, because alternate exterior angles are not equal. Okay, let's look at alternate exterior angles. This definition says alternate exterior angles are equal. Okay, well, that's out. Because they are equal. They have to be in parallel lines. Okay, let's look at part C. Part C says yes, because vertical angles are complementary. Okay, vertical angles come from an X. And it means the inside of the letter X are equal. Well, let's find our letter X. Maybe like that's kind of a letter X if you tilt it. Okay, so what am I doing? Vertical angles says that the angles opposite each other in the letter X should be equal. They should be the same thing. Well, let's check. I got a right angle up here on the top right. Well, that means 90 degrees. Okay, well, a whole line is worth 180. So, this angle on the left has to be another little box of 90 degrees. Because if you remember, angles that are on the same line, like say that angle and this angle, those two angles, since they come from the same line, they should add to 180. So that's how I knew I had to have a 90 on the other side. Well, same thing here. This angle is 90. So the angle beside it has to add up to 180. So another 90. Well, heck fire. We just proved that this top right and this bottom left, the vertical angles, we just proved that they are equal. Okay? C says they're complementary. Complementary means add up to 90? Okay. What do you think these two angles add up to? If this top right is 90 degrees, this bottom left is another 90 degrees, do those add up to 90? Heck fire no, they add up to 180. So they are not complementary. So that's why C is out. Okay, also, if we look at vertical angles, it says vertical angles are equal. It doesn't say anything about adding up to 90. If you look below, it says different vertical angles, like this green and this blue, green and this purple, add up to 180. But it didn't say anything about complementary. And complementary means 90. Okay, let's look at C. C says, no, because adjacent angles are not supplementary. Well, let's see. Where's adjacent angles? Here they are. Okay, and it doesn't say anything about what they add or subtract to. Nowhere does it say add or subtract. Okay, so part D says adjacent angles are not supplementary. Well, we're going to cross that out because we don't know what they are. They could add up to 90, they could add up to 180, they could add up to anything. Yeah, so D's out because adjacent angles are not supplementary. They're not complementary. They could add up to anything. 47, 62, who knows? Okay, so the answer is B. Okay, let's look at part E. Again, we're going to go through what makes them not good. Okay, part A says yes because vertical angles are complementary. That's what did we just talk about that? Okay, vertical angles are equal. It doesn't say anything about them adding up to this complementary 90 degrees. So, part A is wrong because it says they're complementary. We don't know. They could add up to anything. The only angles that specifically add up to a certain number are supplementary and complementary. And then all the angles in a triangle. Okay, let's look at B. It says no because a triangle fits. There's that word again. We're not at Target. Who cares? Part C says no because corresponding angles are 115 each. Okay, let's look at corresponding. Corresponding means that F thing. Okay, let's try and find an F thing. Where is our letter F? Oh, I'm a moron. Okay, my bad. Let's find a letter F, and I'm going to try and find one that includes this 115 or this 115. So I can't quite draw like I'm not going to draw this guy because that does not have the 115 in the F. I think I'm going to draw backwards F. It's kind of tilted, but it's the same thing. So part C, when we have an F, even if it's backwards, even if it's tilted, these two insides should be equal. So let's see if they are. I know that 115 is on the bottom. Huzzah. Okay, I blanked out. I'm sorry. So I know that 115 is this bottom angle. And then this top angle is also 115. Why? Because these are vertical or an X. So the 115 on top is the 115 here. So these two suckers are equal. They are 115. So that means, yes, they are parallel. But look at the answer choice. What did it say? It said no, because it said no. Well, if those two angles are the same, that means yes. So part C is out because it's supposed to say yes. Alright, so that means D's the answer. Let's look at part F. It looks kind of crazy. It says, are H and K parallel lines? Why or why not? Okay, well, it says no, because adjacent angles are supplementary. Okay, we've talked about this. Remember over here, where did we have? Oh, it says part D, we said no because adjacent angles are not supplementary. This one over here. No, I thought we did another one. Anyway, adjacent angles, if we look at the definition, I don't have anything written for you about adding to 180 or adding to 90 or adding to any special number. You could add up to anything. 45, 23, 147. So, A is out. because adjacent angles are not supplementary. They could add to anything, not just 180. They could add to 43, and that's not supplementary. Okay, part C says no, because adjacent angles are complementary. Well, again, that's wrong, because adjacent angles can add to anything. 27, 117. Okay, part C says that word fits. We're not looking for a pair of pants, so D's out also. Okay, yay! That was the hardest problem, and I think there was another problem at the back end of your homework, but I removed it. So your homework will say something like, your instructor gave you credit for this problem, and you'll just keep moving on. Okay, let's keep going. The next ones we're going to have are some little baby problems. It says the ratio of the measure of two supplementary angles is 1 to 8. Find the measure of each angle. Okay, what does supplementary mean? Supplementary means add up to 180. Okay, so it's kind of like saying 1 and 8 add up to 180. But the thing is, this is a ratio. That does not say 1 degree, 8 degree. It just says 1 and 8. So what we're going to say is we're going to say that this 1 is 1x, because we don't know the angle there. And then we're going to say 8 is 8x, because we don't know how big this angle is. It might be 80. It might be 115. It might be 120. We don't know. We're trying to find out. So I know that this 1 angle plus this 8 angle will give me 180, because these two suckers make a horizon. Yeah, as in 180 degrees. So let's take 8x plus 1x and equal it to 180 degrees. Combine like terms. We get 9x equals 180 degrees. How do we make that 9 disappear from the x? Well, it's multiplying right now, so the opposite of multiply is divide. So we get x equals 20. Okay, so the question was, find the measure of each angle. Well, we just found the measure of this angle on the right. It's 1x, or 1 times 20 is 20 degrees. Yeah. Okay, now let's find the angle of this big guy. Well, it's 8 times x, as in 8 times this 20 that we found. And hot dog, that's 160 degrees. Yay. Okay, so that 1 and 8 are not degrees. They just represent that this big angle is 8 times as big as the small angle. And if you look at the degrees, 160 is 8 times as large as 20, because 20 times 8 is 160. All right, let's look at this sucker. It says ABCD is a trapezoid with AB parallel to CD. That little double line looking thing, yeah, it means parallel. Parallel means all these definitions are true. Okay, so let's see. AB. That's this sucker. Okay, he's parallel to CD. Okay, and then it said find the measures of X, Y, and Z. Okay, we're gonna have to go kind of bass-ackwards. Let's look at the triangle that has all the degrees in it. Oh, here it is. And let's see what we can do with all those degrees. I got 46, 60, and then let's try and find that Z at the top of the triangle. So this is the one fact, or the one definition we haven't really used yet. What do 3 angles in a triangle make? What do they add up to be? Well, angles inside a triangle add up to be 180. So this 46 plus this 60 plus whatever your z is going to be 180. So all three of these angles add up to 180. So let's go ahead and combine like terms. 46 and 60 make 106 plus z equals 180. And then how do you get that z by itself? You subtract 106. Okay, so we get z equals 74 degrees. Yeah. So this z is 74 degrees. Okay. Now, why don't we try and find this x? We know something special about this x. Remember on that example D, where if we had a 90-degree angle, then that same angle on that same line was 90 degrees because they add up to 180. And which meant that the angle below it is 90, the angle to the right of it is 90, all these angles are 90. So the point I'm trying to make is, if you have two parallel lines, CD, AB, and something that cuts through it, then yeah, you have a 90 degrees, but you also have a 90 degrees on this right side, as in all of this, the 60 and the x, should add up to be 90 degrees. So let's do it. Okay, that 60 plus that x should be 90 degrees because there's a right angle. Okay, so what is x? Well, we subtract 60 and we get 90 minus 60. 30 degrees. Yay! Okay, now all we have to do is figure out this y. So some of you might be thinking, oh, okay, well, we just subtract that 74 from 90 again. No. Okay, to figure out this y, we're going to use the z property. Let's look for the z property. Here's the top of the z, the bottom of the z, the cut through of the z. Okay, and remember that z property, or alternate interior angles, are equal or congruent. So, if I know that this guy is 60, then I know that this guy is 60. So y equals 60 degrees. And it's because of that z property. Yay! Okay, let's keep going on. We're going to talk about not just a triangle, but any old shape. So the next thing is how to find one angle of a polygon. And a polygon is anything bigger than a square. Maybe it has 5 sides, 6 sides, 7 sides. These two pictures down below are polygons. This home plate on a baseball field, it's a polygon. Yeah. Okay, so it's saying, it says find the measure of each of the interior angles of a 5-sided polygon. So it's saying if I have a shape with 5 sides and every single side is equal and every single angle is equal, how much is each angle? Okay, so we're going to plug it into this little formula. This formula says 180 times n minus 2 over n. N is that number 5. It's the amount of sides. So let's plug this in. We're going to have 180 times no more n minus 2. Now we have 5 minus 2. All over n, or 5. Okay, let's see, that makes 180 times 3 over 5. And then if you put that all in your calculator, equals 108 degrees. So this is saying if I have a 5-sided polygon, not quite like this home base, because we need all the angles to be equal. So if I have a 5-sided polygon, oh gosh, I don't know if I can draw it. That's a 5-sided polygon. All the angles inside are going to be 108. Okay, let's keep going. This sucker says in a regular polygon, the measure of each angle is 140. How many sides do we have? What? So we're going backwards of this. Backwards of this. Backwards. Okay. Well, to go backwards of that, we're not quite going to use this formula. Let's not use this formula. No, actually we are going to use... Hold on, let me think. Yeah, we're not quite going to use this formula to figure out the sides we have, because remember, sides is the letter N. And if you're looking at this formula, there's too many N's. There's one on top, one on bottom, so we're going to kind of stay away from that. Instead, let's try using this sucker, that all the interior angles of a polygon you add them up. Wait. Or just hand out how to do this. Okay. I think I forgot to write a formula on here. The formula that I'm supposed to put on here is N equals okay, I gotta stop.